And Faster Mike, good afternoon. You join us again here on Facebook Live. This time, very much beyond the top of the Slock, we are at the round table. And we think from around about here, it's 8 miles in to Peel. So, yes, it's about 24 miles into the Parish Walk course. And if we just look up the road here, you can see the two race leaders. I think it is, do you know, I'm not going to call that actually. I can't quite see whether it's Liam Parker or Richard Gerrard, but they were neck and neck still at the top of the Slock. But one of them has opened out a slight lead. Let's just get them a little bit closer before we call that one. But what I will say is, here at the round table, a very refreshing breeze, even more so than when we were further down the Slock. It's a little bit cooler, the breeze up here, and a little bit of cloud cover coming over as well. The sun is breaking through, but there is some clouds. So for those coming through here over the next 2 or 3 hours, the main body of the race walkers, conditions actually not too bad. This breeze is very welcome. I can certainly call it now. Yep, definitely. That is number 1, Richard Gerrard, out in front. Last year's winner, looking to make it 6 Parish Walk wins today. Here he comes, and he's looking great. Let's see him go by, smiling away here. Bearing in mind he is now done Ballycalawi in the Slock, one of the hardest parts of the course is done. So let's move in and see how he is. Here he comes. Sunglasses on. Still going well, Richard?
Yeah, feeling good.
Excellent. Good luck. Keep going. Yeah. Great. There he goes. So let's follow him down and we'll just see him as he goes down what I think is actually a fairly hard stretch of the course, because after all that uphill, you've now got to come down this steep slope down towards Erie Cushlin and then another steep slope down into Dalby, and it only really levels out when you get to the Ballycallan, and then you've got a nice flat stretch all the way through to Glen May, pretty much, bar a couple of ups and downs around that hairpin there. Let's come back to where we were, because here's second place man. He's, yes, about 30 seconds behind now, so trailing ever so slightly compared to just before, but he's still looking good. It's Liam Parker, winner from 2 years ago. All right, Liam. Doesn't want any water. There he goes. Let's follow him down and see him on his way. Really smiling, and great to see them so close. I think at this point it really does start to make it very exciting when they're still so close together. Will one of them really open things up now? Certainly beyond Peel on that stretch to Kirkmichael. That's where a good lead can be established. So there they go, just down into the distance. Still looking great, and I think actually the breeze here all the way up the Slock I think has been very welcoming for them, because certainly when we were at the Braid Crossroads earlier on this morning, that was around about 9:15, 9:30. It was very warm indeed there. Let's just have a little walk back up and see if we can spot third place man. When we last spoke to you, that was about 11:30, quarter to 12. Pete Miller was in third place, so an absolute rerun at the moment of how it was last year. Will it stay that way? It remains to be seen. So if they've done 24 miles at this point, that means there is still 61 miles to go until they finish the race. So you can't even begin to call it at this point. But we know Richard particularly, such an experienced and very tough walker. Unless something goes very wrong for him, we think he'll stay very much out there by Liam Parker, either pulling out that lead or very much with him. Liam, again, having won 2 years ago, he knows exactly what he's doing, and it's probably around now as they go beyond Peel up to Kirkmichael and onto the northern stretch of the course up around Ballaugh and Derby and Bride. That's where they really have to dig in to get through those particular points. A reminder that all being well, whoever that leader is coming across the finish line tonight on Douglas Promenade, we think will be around about 11, 11:30. We'll be doing further Facebook Live updates right throughout the day here on the Manx Radio page and on air on Manx Radio from 12:30. So in just a few minutes from now, Chris Cave will be with you right through the afternoon from the Town Hall in Peel on Derby Road. We'll see those leaders through, but at Peel, that's where we get those really interesting stories about people who've perhaps took part in the walk to raise money for charity or a real personal challenge, perhaps to do that 32 miles to Peel. Always some great stories there. So I hope you can join us on air throughout the afternoon to hear lots of stories and see lots of people through that 32 mile mark. But yeah, I think for now that is it. As we said earlier on, Pete Miller was there in third place, looking right back up. Yes, I think this is him actually coming into view now. I was looking further back up, but he's almost here. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll see Pete through. In fact, let's have a walk up the road. And then we'll move on to Dalby, where we'll be on air around about 1:45, joining Chris Cave to see who is leading the pack there. But just to recap, in case you've just joined us here on this live Facebook video, Richard Gerrard leading at the moment, about 30 seconds ahead of Liam Parker, both going brilliantly. There's no doubt about that. Nearly 1,400 people started the walk this morning. Many of those will still be around the south of the island, around Ballabeg, Arbury, Colby, making their way to Russian Church. Many will have been through Russian Church now. We'll check those stats shortly and see how many have been through. Tackling now, I would imagine many people, Ballacalawi and the Slough. This is such a nice part of the course because it's a very gentle drop down from the bottom of Crunkneary Lay there down to the Round Table. Just at the foot of South Barrule, such a beautiful part of the island here, and you get that view right through to the hills there. And then it's that stretch down to Peel. So let's just have a look and see if this is Pete. Yes, I think it is. It's that white hat giving it away, no doubt. So we'll see how he's doing. But yes, absolutely the same as it was this time last year. They're a fair way ahead of the walkers behind them. The top end really opening out now, as it will, I think, even further as we go up this sort of western spine of the course. Here he is. Yeah, that's Pete. So let's just have a quick word and see how he's doing. Still going all right?
Yeah, no, that's fine now.
Good. Slock done?
Yeah, Slock's done. Thank God.
Yeah, God, he said he's happy to get that bit over. I think between the Slough and Ballajora coming out of Mackle, they are regarded as two of the hardest bits of the course, certainly the steepest anyway. So there he goes, getting a good round of applause there. And yes, in another hour or two, this will be thronged here at the Round Table. I know in previous years they've handed out beer, which when I've took part in the walk, I've never ever fancied. It has to be said. We'll just tuck in because there's some cars just coming, as you can see, people in fancy dress. So yeah, over the next hour or two, this will be packed as those hundreds of walkers carry on from Russian Church through this point here, down through Dolby and Glenmay, onto Patrick, where they'll check in at Patrick Church, and then it's that stretch into Peel where there'll be that carnival atmosphere, loads of people welcoming them in through the marketplace, up Michael Street and Derby Road there at the Town Hall. So that's where we'll do our next Facebook Live video, and around about an hour from now, where we'll see the race leaders through. Who will be leading and by how far? That's the question here on the 2019 Manx Telecom Parish Walk.